Good morning, Dustin. Supercar Sunday brought to you by Porcelain Hills. And what did Ady bring? What's Ady working on at the car show? Sir, Mr. Gill.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're supposed to. I don't know if you're supposed to work on cars at Supercar Sunday. What in the world are you doing? What are you tightening up?
The exhaust. I lost a screw.
Oh, you lost a screw a long time ago.
Yes.
Maybe a couple.
And I lost another one, and this came down.
So let me ask you a question while you're down there on the ground.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you have a few screws that are loose?
I have tons of those. Not only that, you know, we used to say you have a scratch. Have you ever heard it? A scratch in the brain?
No.
Maybe it's a Hebrew thing. Here's a scratch. A scratch is when you're like a little wacky. Or wacko. Or what?
So are you saying that I'm wacky or you're wacky or we're both wacky?
I'm more than you.
Maybe I hide it better.
Maybe you're more. See, I can't concentrate on listening and talk about and explain about philosophical stuff.
So this is the fun part about Ady. You know, it's funny. You look at the comments people leave. So last time he brought this beautiful 59 Corvette out, which is stunning. The way this car sits the rake when you stand back 20-30 feet from it, it's just phenomenal. But he was having an issue where one or two cylinders weren't firing. So I asked him this morning, and he says, well, I realized that the float had a little hole in the carburetor. I pulled off the carburetor and then I soldered up the float. So
you got it right, almost.
I'm never good enough.
No.
I'm never good enough.
No. Yeah.
I'm a battered car guy.
No. Okay, let's explain. So I had it. I mean, I'm sure we can find a Holley carburetor in here.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go see if we can find a
No,
Holley carburetor.
I know. I've got Holley carburetors. Okay.
Anyway, so Holley carburetor did
750 double pumper.
Double pumper.
Right.
So it has two floats.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So after I fixed the spark plugs, well, I thought the spark plugs do not fire,
Sure.
right? I cleaned them, I put them back, it ran for 2 minutes. Then didn't work quite right. I bought a set of spark plugs, put the spark plug in, worked for 5 minutes, not working right.
Okay.
I said, okay.
And you gapped them correctly and everything?
Everything was correct, yes. Okay, but when I pulled them out, they were wet and black.
Okay.
So I said, too much fuel. Running, right?
Fuel, air, spark, sure.
Too much. So I opened the filter and looked as the car was idling, really rough, and it was dripping oil, gasoline.
Okay.
You would see, instead of a spray,
Yeah.
there were drops. It can't burn it like that, right?
So the float was staying open.
So then I said, there's too much fuel in the carburetor.
Okay.
I took it apart, and you know the floats are brass.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they get a little crack.
Sure.
So the fluid goes into the float.
Pulls it down.
Pull it down.
Keeps it open.
Keep it open. So it was overflowing the carburetor into it. So I soldered, I took it out, and I got all the fluid out of the float.
Okay.
It's a long story how to do it, but there's a way to do it. You want to know how to do it?
Tell us.
You put in your toaster oven. So you take the...
Wait, whoa. I do not recommend doing this at home with any type of gasoline or any type of fluid that's, you know. Wait, you put a float filled with gas?
Yeah, but I set up to a low enough temperature to just warm it up. Think about it. When you heat it up, it expands the air inside the float, right?
Okay.
And if the hole of the float is on the bottom, it shoots the gasoline out, correct? It expands, it extracts the gasoline from the float, correct?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So some comes out. Okay, you have to be careful. You can't run the toaster oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. It would catch on fire.
I might have pulled the float out and let it sit outside for a couple of days and let it slowly evaporate.
I didn't have time for that.
Patience is a virtue.
No. So
Rome wasn't built in a day.
well, I would have built it if I could. Anyway, so then you do it back and forth. So then you take it and you put the float in the freezer and you cool the air down inside the float, okay? So now it sucks fresh air, right? Because it shrinks.
Okay.
It sucks air back into the float. You put it back in the toaster oven. It heats it up again, right? Expands the air and shoots the gasoline out. By the time you shake it and you don't hear any gasoline inside, now you can close the hole. Make sense? Because it would take forever for the gasoline to evaporate through the float.
Sometimes it's better to side on caution. Don't try that at home. We're not officially recommending this. Take it to your favorite mechanic.
There's no such thing as a favorite mechanic will do shit like that.
Andreas, you're a favorite mechanic to Gary Wales.
Here. He is a fabulous mechanic.
Let's see. What was it?
Okay. So you have a float in the carburetor.
Yes.
And the float has a pinhole.
Yes, sir.
And the fluid gets inside
Yes.
the thing. How do you get
and
it out?
It overflows the
And
carburetor.
how do you get the fluid out of the float?
Well, there's different things. Sometimes it leaks through the weld if it's a
No,
two-piece.
we got it, but it's already inside. Now you want to.
You find the hole. You try to find the hole and prick it with a pin and make a hole bigger and squeeze it out, and then you can plug it from outside.
So let me ask you a question. So if I took that float filled with gasoline and put it in my toaster oven and toasted it, would that be a good idea?
If the hole is too small and you put it in a toaster, the pressure might, depending on how big is the hole, the
Tiny.
The pressure might slowly come out and evaporate the gas from
And
inside.
push it out.
Yes.
And then I go into the freezer and I cool it.
Yes.
Okay, and then the air comes in, right? And I put it back in the toaster oven at maybe 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it shoots. And I do it 5 times, and by the time I do it 5 times, the gasoline is gone.
Sure, understand. But if,
I want comments.
but it's easy
and then
to find the hole
And
make
drill
a-
it bigger.
Make it bigger, squeeze it all out, and then heat it or let it evaporate, and then you plug it.
or you can always go buy a new float. Holiday.com.
Sometimes, no, some vehicles you cannot buy a new hole. You have to make a float.
So let me ask you another question. Sorry for forgetting. So is this the same toaster that you toast your bagels and toast in?
Yeah. But it's really, I mean, you just
it
you
doesn't
just see-
contaminate the
It doesn't
toaster.
contaminate.
And then you let it run, and
it just get hot.
This
And it
is
just-
how we get the Super and Supercar Sunday right here.
But that's anyway. So I got it. Look, I've done it many times before.
I believe you.
Here's the thing about the drilling the hole a little bit bigger. You may need at that point, if it's a little tiny float, you may need a little bit more solder.
Correct.
In order to close the hole. Now you're disturbing the weight of the float, because the whole float can be at 2.2 grams, right? And when you solder too much in order to close the
you
hole,
make it heavier.
you make it heavier.
And then it sinks.
Exactly.
And then you're flooding the carburetor again.
So I've done it before,
Not
and I
that.
made it.
What happens is the level it comes down because the float is heavier, and then there's less gas coming in. Then you just try to.
Then you're going to
pour
crack a
gas
cylinder
in.
wall because it's going to
That
run
is
hot.
what I tried on a little float. I didn't want to do it. I had it in my. I set
But
up.
my question is, okay, so you remove the gas. How do you plug it? How do you seal it?
I solder it with a soldering iron.
Okay, so that's.
I just clean it and I
the
put.
minimum possible. Exactly.
Huh?
The
Yeah,
minimum
the
amount
minimum solder, just not to add too much weight to the float, because then you disturb. Now with the Holly, it's not a big problem because the Holly has an adjustment on the top, so even if it's a little heavier, it would still be okay.
Hold on. Okay, so I'm back. I had to park somebody real quick. Okay.
Okay, so after that.
So remind me never to have toast at your house.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only bagels.
Anyway, after that, you know, the carburetor still was not working really great. Okay, so fiddling with it, it did not work. And I took another carburetor and put it on. Another Holly that I had a spare and it was running better. I said, this thing does not really work right. And I'm doing a little bit of research on carburetors, and people start telling me that Edelbrock is making actually better carburetors. And there's another thing that I learned in with all that stuff is we, the older guys, thinking that more CFM the better. Oh, I have a 750, I have an 850, I have a
Well,
1000.
you could jet it down. I knew a guy who liked to run bigger carburetors with smaller jetting, so it never starved. But he built race cars.
But yeah, but for street driving,
Sure.
you know,
Everybody wants
you
a
can put
750.
Everybody wants. I can
double
put a
pumper.
750. I can put an 850. I can put a 1000. I can put a, you know, whatever it is. And then
You
I said,
overcarburate it,
do
yeah.
I ever floor? Do I ever get all the power out of this engine? Would I break stuff when I do this? It probably would. So what I did is I just bought a 600 Edelbrock. Put it right on. You remember how it was running?
Yeah.
It was running.
This is a really nice car.
Oh yeah, I'm always
There's the Ady grin.
See?
Wow, I'm nervous.
Oh, it's a big cam.
Little cam, yeah, it's got a cam in there, yeah.
Well, it will warm up, it will idle even better. But look,
I really like this car.
now it's okay.
Yeah. That counter nut for the accelerated.
That's a really nice car.
Yeah.
Which one?
The counter nut for the accelerated cable.
Oh, that's easy. Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking spinning.
Yeah. It's loose.
It's loose. Okay, that's this.
Ady, this is a really nice car.
Okay, that's easy.
This is one of my favorite ones.
So why do you?
He's not paying
why do you
attention to
turn
me.
it off in gear? It pings.
No, it diesels.
Right.
So now the dieseling stuff is something that I'm still trying to figure
It
out.
idles too rich.
Yeah, it's too much fuel still. No, if it's dieseling?
So I can close the needle of the idle.
Yeah,
a little bit.
you have to.
So Andreas helps build all of Gary's cars, and
Bring down
really
The RPM.
incredibly knowledgeable man too, just like Ady.
Just take your time. You know, you gotta do it when it's warm, when it's hot. After you went to a run.
Now we can fix that.
Next time I'll bring an oil filter and some oil. We'll just change the oil here. What do you say?
I do it at home on a lift. But no, look, he just here. This is now I didn't finish.
Hey, Ady, I have to go get some video, but tomorrow's your birthday, yes?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
birthday,
I don't
you
really
doing
celebrate. I don't
something?
really. No, I don't really celebrate
wanna
my
go out
birthday.
somewhere?
No.
You're gonna stay home?
Tomorrow.
Maybe.
No, tomorrow I'm having a surgery.
You're having surgery
Man.
Yeah.
on your leg?
No, on my hand.
Oh, but you'll be at home in the evening, I'm sure.
Yeah, here. No. It's, I have that thing. It's called. I forgot the name. It's name. You see this stuff? You know what it is? It's common. You've seen
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
right? And it pulls the finger.
Right.
So what you do is yeah, but it's something that attached to the
Did you ever
tendon.
cut
So
your
what they do
finger?
is they go like this and they cut it zigzags like like this. It's under full anesthesia and they remove
Wow.
this thing and then they put the hand in.
Are you
the
gonna let it heal, or you just be the same day working
No,
on
well,
cars?
yeah, but I have. He said, see what happened? It also bends the knuckle.
So you're having surgery on your birthday.
Yeah, because it was the first available date. So what difference does it make if it's my birthday, right?
Well, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. So the only problem is how do I drive stick shift now?
Well, just call me. I'll drive your cars for you.
Oh,
It said the 959,
yeah,
the XJ220.
I knew that coming. I knew that was
Why
coming.
a right-hand drive stick shift?
I have one. I have.
Yeah,
I drive my British cars.
That's how it should drive.
I will go. Yeah. But
Okay.
my car, one of those, the XJ220 doesn't work.
Well, you gotta.
You're gonna help me fix it?
Sure, man.
We need to put new ECU in it, I think.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Another great day at Supercar Sunday. More to come.